Yeah, no, that thing about the $4 million that he's paid out to a total of about 20 players. Now, to total of $4 million, I don't want people to get the idea that he's giving $4 million to any one player, but I mean, I knew that he had remained close to a lot of these guys who, call him on his birthday and they send him Father's Day cards. I mean, that's so unusual considering that he was such a pain in the ass to play for.
Right, right.
He was such a hard driving coach who demanded so much of these guys physically. These were the days where 2 days in pads in training camp, that was the normal practice. Now it's almost if you put the players in pads once a week in training camp, somebody complains to the union about it. And during the season, his players were in pads all the time. Really a physically demanding coach, and had a love-hate relationship with the players. But to a man now, all these years later, they can't imagine what their lives would have been like without him and the life lessons that they learned from him. Phil Simms says there almost isn't a day that goes by that he uses something that Parcells taught him. And he does feel a responsibility to these players because he knows that they're suffering physically and mentally. And perhaps it was, because of how hard he was on them. And I don't want to say he feels guilty about it, but I think he feels responsible for looking after them. And he's in a fortunate financial position now where he's put away all the money he thinks he needs to live comfortably the rest of his life. He has 3 daughters. He set money aside, whether it's in a fund or however he's done that. And then he's got a pile of money that he says is for his friends who need money. And he considers these former players his friends. And it's not like they can just call him up and say, hey, Bill, I need $25,000 to do an addition on my house. No, he's not going to give him money for that. But if they have medical bills or lawyer bills or tax issues where they got to get money to the IRS, he just sits down and writes the check. It's not just the Giants, although it's predominantly the Giants. He told me a story about, and I don't want to name the player, but somebody he was really close to when he coached the Patriots. And I had the story in the book, and the guy said, I can't remember now, it was either $60,000 or $65,000 that the guy was short. And he said his pension didn't kick in to the next year. And he promised Bill, I'll pay you back. And Bill never gives his money with the expectation of being repaid. Player wants to repay him. Of course he's going to take the money, but he's not going to send a collection agency after him. So listen, maybe other coaches have done this. I'd never heard of it. Some owners might do it, but owners are in a different position. Most of these guys are billionaires. Bill Parcells is not a billionaire, but he's certainly comfortable and made a lot of money coaching and then endorsements and TV work and things of that nature. So he feels an obligation of sorts to help these guys if they need it.